The Lakers from 1948 to 2013 missed the playoffs 5 times. They've now missed the playoffs 6 consecutive years. Just put that in perspective. And so when we look at it from that standpoint, one would argue that Dr. Buss, God rest his soul, passed away, I believe it was February of 2013. That season they didn't make the playoffs, and no season since have they made the playoffs. And when you consider the fact that this great, great man, somebody that Max Kellerman has called the greatest owner in the history of sports, arguably, accomplished what he accomplished, and his daughter is running the franchise. And obviously there was friction between her and her brother, Jim. And then the other brothers were involved. Remember, she had to literally go to court. Ramona Shelburne reported on all of that exceptionally well, I might add. She had to go to court basically to strip them of any power they thought they had and to make it clear that she reigned supreme over the Los Angeles Lakers franchise. It became a legal issue. You have turmoil within the Buss family because clearly there were people that were not on the same page. She reigns supreme. She has the power. And after having the power, what has been accomplished? You got Magic Johnson. Not only did he abruptly resign, he didn't even call you. He left first and then had dinner with you a couple of weeks later. We talk about the dysfunctionality that's raked through this franchise. We talk about Rob Pelinka ascending in power from an agent to a GM of the franchise to now the de facto president of basketball operations, one would argue. You got Kurt Rambis, who's 100 games under 500 as a coach, making major decisions to the point where Frank Vogel is going to a press conference and including him in terms of gratitude towards being hired. You got Linda Rambis, no basketball background that we know of, but involved in special projects, and she's in Jeannie's ear. You got somebody in the business side in Tim Harris that, according to Magic Johnson, wants to infiltrate basketball operations, and then you have Magic Johnson coming on national television to say it. This is not good. And all of this is happening under Jeannie's stewardship. So I'm not going to sit up there and say, it's over. She's ruined it because the Lakers are the Lakers. I love them. I root for them even though I'm a native New Yorker. There's so many people within that organization that are beyond kind and good people, always have been good to me. But I will tell you that it's going towards that way. And you better hope that this latest move works. And oh, by the way, the latest move meaning bringing on Frank Vogel. Well, we don't expect that to last more than 2 years because they insisted that Jason Kidd be a lead assistant. It's a mess.
Look,
it's
when you talk about the good people in the Lakers organization, in my view, foremost among them is Jeannie Buss. Jeannie's excellent. However, she has ruined the Lakers. It's not irreversible, but she's ruined the Lakers. And the reason is her father, the way I phrase it, Stephen A., is he is by far the late, great Dr. Jerry Buss. By far, it's not close. The greatest owner in the history of American team sports. He's lapping the field. And since he passed and Jeannie has gotten control of the franchise, they've stunk. And first, she took too long to fire her brother. Jim Buss and Mitch Kupchak were handing out contracts to Timofey Mozgov and Luol Deng when they couldn't get anyone else to take their money. Before that even, Jeannie gave Kobe a 2-year contract extension. When they were out of that deal, they handed him $50 million a year, handcuffed themselves, and he wasn't even back from an Achilles injury. He immediately got hurt again, couldn't really get on the court. These are disastrous decisions made under Jeannie Buss's watch. And then here's what blows my mind. It's like the Lufthansa heist in the movie Goodfellas. Remember when the guy is sitting there and they're scheming to rob the airport, and they say, what about security? And the guy who brought in the scheme said, security? You're looking at him. Like, Jeannie, the LeBron situation is an inside job. How do you mess up an inside job? This is an inside job. LeBron's there. Let me tell you how this works now. LeBron says, Magic is like, all right, LeBron, I'll get you, Ty Lue. Hey, Rich, yeah, we'll give KCP a 1-year deal for twice what he's worth. Don't worry about that. We're going to get AD, right? Okay, how long do we have to wait? Great. If we can't trade for him, we'll sign him. It's an inside job. So you know how that works? LeBron gets the coach he wants, particularly if Magic Johnson, the guy you hired, the guy who's like a brother to you, your words, That guy is coming in trying to get rid of the incumbent coach and give LeBron the coach he wants. How do you mess up an inside job? An inside job, you're on the outside all of a sudden.
They're in the bad shape. But I wouldn't say that they're ruined. They're still in a position to get the things that they want. Once they don't get those things, then I might say that they're ruined. But I still wouldn't put it all on Jeannie Buss. I think what she's done, most of the decisions she's made can be defensible. Like Bob Myers is a guy who's done what Rob Pelinka's done before. There have been people like Jerry West has come in and done things that Magic Johnson has done. So it's not like what she's done is completely unorthodox. The fact that it appears that she did not have a plan and she did not have everyone tightly aligned beforehand, that's where the problem lies. The thing that stood out of all the crazy things in this story, the thing that stood out to me was where it said Jeannie Buss believes in fate, and that Jeannie Buss believes that everyone ends up the way that they're supposed to be. You cannot believe that and be at the top of the organization, because then, in essence, you're saying that you don't have any control or any influence, and it doesn't matter what decisions you make. So I think that's problematic. She made mistakes there, but it's not too late for the Lakers to rebound.
Well, Dominic, let me ask you this question. I mean, and I get where you're coming from, and I actually agree. Like I said, I can't say that it's final, like they can't recover from this. But when you hear folks saying she's got too many people in her ear, they're not proven basketball people in terms of really having the necessary acumen or resume, maybe not the acumen, but the resume that's credible enough where they should be a dominant presence in your ear. When Magic Johnson comes on the air and acknowledges that that's a problem, she can't listen to everybody, that there's too many people, and more importantly, she's leaning on emotional connections as to why they have her ear, as opposed to really, really dissecting their basketball acumen, credibility, resume, etc. How should we look at Jeannie in that regard, Dominic?
I agree with you. She made it very difficult for her success, but I think this, like many things in sports, is we let the results decide how we're going to tell the story. If LeBron doesn't get injured and they're winning, we're going to look at this and people are going to say Jeannie Buss went with the people she trusted.